Hi folks, welcome! Let me tell you something very interesting. About 60 years ago, in every private house and also public spaces like airports or restaurants or public bathrooms, almost everywhere were installed little machines that can kill and sterilize completely a room from germs, bacteria, virus, molds and fungus that, if breathed inside our body, can really create big problems. So here comes the paradox. These machines were so efficient that all the room was completely sterilized. Probably now you are thinking, this is a great thing. It isn't, because our body needs to be prepared almost daily, very frequently, to fight against this little organism. Otherwise, our immunity system will start to sleep, and once we get an infection, it will get very worse. So that's the reason why now it's not so frequent to find this kind of machine, and today I'm going to show you how to make one just using very simple components. So let's get started.
Let's take this kind of lamps. I'm talking about fluorescent lamp, and I'm gonna choose this one, the round one with a donut shape, because I think it has a very interesting design for my project. This lamp isn't working anymore, so let's take it apart. I'm pretty sure the problem was with this electric circuit and not with the glass tube, which is the only part I'm gonna use for this project. Taking it apart is very easy. I just need to cut away the 4 cables that was connected to the circuit, and the circuit I'm pretty sure I can save other components for the future project. So what I have to do right now is just twist together all these 4 cables, because inside of them will pass 4000 volts, so make a very tight connection. And to make sure that everything is tight, let's use an electric connector. This is a Mammut, we call it Mammut here in Italy, and I can fix it in place with a screwdriver, and here is the result. Now let's take something else. I'm talking about a stainless steel metal mesh. You find a link on Amazon if you want to buy them, and these are used to keep away insects from the house. I'm gonna use stainless steel because this machine will produce a very powerful gas that is so powerful that can oxidize any kind of metal. Instead, stainless steel can stand very easily oxidation, so choose stainless steel for this reason. What I have to do is make a round shape like a sausage that with the same diameter of the lamp. The lamp instead has a round shape, and this instead is straight. A little trick is to use a marker, mark lines, space each other like 3 centimeters, and use the scissors to cut on these lines. This will create little slots that for sure make everything much easier to bend over. Like you can see now with my hands, I can bend it very easy. It's much easier also to open up these parts, like they look like arms that want to hug the lamp, and this is what they really have to do. I have to install everything on the lamp like this, and to fix it in place I can use little strings. It's very important to choose them. It have to be made with stainless steel, and a good idea is just to recycle them from the metal mesh itself, so I can take them apart, put them around the lamp and just twist them to close everything. I can stitch the metal mesh on the lamp. This took some time, about 10 minutes, but the result is very nice. It looks like I just bought it from a shop. I really enjoy how it's coming up. So let's take the lamp and put it apart, because I need to find something to make an electric connection. These are copper cables, but these are standard cables. Instead I'm gonna have to use like very high voltage cables. So the solution is just to cover the cables with other plastic. So I'm gonna make like a thicker rubber protection that can isolate the copper itself, so I'm not getting electrocuted from this machinery. So I made 2 of them, are long like 60 centimeters each, and I can strip away one of the cables. I can strip away like 15 centimeters, and I can twist this copper cable on the bottom part right here in the middle of the lamp. Later on I will protect the copper with using like transparent paint, so it doesn't get oxidized very quickly. And this is one of the connections for the high voltage. The other electric connection will be placed inside the Mammut I showed you earlier, so we are not having a real proper connection. We are having a not direct connection between the gas and the metal mesh. To power on the machine we need a high voltage transformer. This step up 220 volt from my house into 4000 volts. I really suggest you don't go higher, don't choose higher voltage transformer, because you will risk to break the machine itself. So what I really have to do now is just test that everything is working. We have a very huge spark that is jumping between the stainless steel mesh and the copper cables. This means that electricity is going into the lamp, but the most interesting thing happens when I give electricity just to the copper cables that are in the middle. We can clearly see that the gas that is inside the lamp gets excited and emits light. But the most important thing is that we are now having a physical and chemical reaction. We are producing a very strong gas that is forming between the stainless steel mesh and the glass. We are making corona sparks, and this will produce a very interesting gas. I will explain all this process later on in this video. What I'm doing now is creating a container, because we are playing with high voltage, which is very dangerous. So I need to put the lamp in a safe environment, and this plastic container, I'm pretty sure it's pretty safe. I made a lot of holes around the container because gas has to pass through these little holes. The gas will be pushed by this big PC fan that I glue here on the top part in plexiglass. I can put all the components together, so I can glue it right here or just stitch it with some plastic strings like this. So what I really have to do right now is to add little legs on this container, because I want the container to be a little bit above like a table or a wall. So I have an electric isolation with these plastic little legs, and I think it's over. We have the fan is pushing very strongly the air that is coming out from the little holes. And to show you how powerful the fan really is, the little trick is to use like a very small piece of string and place it in front of the hole. So let's mount everything on the wall.
So everything is installed here on this wall. I decided to place it here because this wall is just in the middle of my shop, so that I can sanitize all the air in the room. And also the second reason is because here there's like an electric panel, and with this switch I can control a big fan which is installed up there, and I can then clean and change all the air in my shop. That's very important. So let me tell you, how does this thing work? It's very easy to understand it. We have a light bulb which is made with glass, and inside there is gas. And around it I place a metal mesh. This is stainless steel, so it doesn't get rusty. And inside the light bulb we have, of course, electricity, very high electricity. I'm talking about 3000 volts. And we are creating a chemical effect, a physical effect, which is very interesting because in the air usually there is oxygen, which is O2. Once we apply electricity to the light bulb and to the metal mesh, we are forming new molecules of oxygen. I'm talking about O3 oxygen, which is a much more aggressive oxygen, is powerful oxygen. And these air molecules, these new air molecules, starts to go away from this electric fan and starts to fly around the room. And immediately, once this new molecule find a germ, a bacteria or a virus, attack them and kill them instantly. So you can really understand how powerful this machine works. You can also go cleaning like in the little corners where usually you cannot go with cleaning by hand. This gas, this oxygen, much powerful oxygen, can go there and kill germs for you. Two very important rules to use a machine like this safely are: don't keep it turned on for 24/7. I will turn it on for a couple hours and then switch it off, and instead turn on the air fan circulation to change the air in the room. If you are in the house, you can just leave your windows open for a couple hours. At this point, I will leave you also a couple machines like this. You can buy them already made on Amazon, and there are also little ones. You can install it in your car to clean up the air, which is also a great thing. You'll find both links here on the info below. At this point, I leave you with my 2 previous videos, so you find both links here. Check them out, one here and one there, and see you next week with another do-it-yourself tutorial. Ciao!